Welcome to the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Show. Good morning, everyone. It is 9:01, June 26th. We've got a great show lined up for you, as always, and we're going to be taking your calls for 1 hour. 248-539-9797. We're brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding. I'm Harvey Freed. We got Harry Glanz joining us.
Good morning, Harvey, and good morning, panel. And Harvey, I was getting a little worried. I saw some animals lining up 2 by 2 in my backyard. I think they want me to build an ark or something. I don't know.
A lot of that going on. Becky Alley with the giggles back there. Hey, Becky, good morning.
Hey, it is definitely a steamy one out there today. I like my hair poofed out as soon as I stepped outside. It's crazy.
All right, top 1% of all originators. Becky's going to be giving us some great information about mortgages and what's going on out there. And Nick Kalte joins us, Brookstone Realtors.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Hey, good morning. How's everyone doing?
Fantastic. Thanks for coming on, Nick.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nick, you and I closed one over the summer, and then we've been talking. Now we're back working again on a transaction.
Absolutely.
And it was so great. You caught me at the right time this week. And I said, why don't you come on the show? It's fantastic to really just have you on and hear what's going on in your world. And of course, Nick, you've been at real estate for about a handful of years now. And the truth is it's different nowadays. We talked about people's experiences in the industry, how long they've been at it, the technology. There's a lot of changes. You're working with a lot of young first-time home buyers. You give me a little bit of what's been going out there, what you see going on with your first-time home buyers. Do they do they understand the market? Do we really have to bring them up to speed? Tell me what's happening.
Yeah, so it's definitely a little different. I got in a few years ago, and even the difference from 2 years ago when I first started is just it's absolutely different. And so you do have to bring them up to speed a little. But the good thing is rates are so incredibly low right now that higher value on homes shouldn't really scare anybody, and we'll go into that as we go on in the show. But really, it's an absolutely incredible time in a hot market. It's good for buyers. It's good for sellers.
Harry, we're working a lot of first-time home buyers, of course. We do loans everywhere, and a lot of their family members are doing the right thing and saying, look, Capital Mortgage has been around forever. They got the experience. They'll work with you. They'll meet with you. Harry, we see these appraisal contingencies, these guaranteed. It's been the talk of the town now for really going on 2 years, and we're experiencing it daily where there's an appraisal guarantee. So when that house comes in for that first-time buyer at $225 and their offers at $245, yeah, they got to come up with the difference.
Yeah, we're seeing that a lot, and it's not unusual right now that, number one, you do have appraisal contingencies in there, and number two, that people have to come up with that money. It's just what's going on in the market right now. And if you're a first-time home buyer and you're not working with a lender that's extremely experienced, and you're just going to get lost. I mean, first of all, your offer is never going to get accepted. That's number one. Number two, you're not going to be prepared for what's to come in that transaction because nobody's taking the time to go ahead and let you know that appraisal could come in low. So, Harvey, you're absolutely right. Not to mention, you might get something that says, hey, why don't you get an inspection waiver in there also, which we do not recommend anybody waiving an inspection on a house, especially when you're a first-time home buyer, Harvey Freed.
We are back talking about inspections, that's for sure. Becky Alley, there was a horrible catastrophe, of course, down in Florida, Surfside there. Talk about inspections and how things really have to be checked out. I mean, that's a life and death matter. Money can fix some problems, Becky. But one of the things is, these first-time home buyers, Becky, is they're having trouble getting their offers accepted. So we do have a few little helpful tips. Becky, one of them has been for sure that, our buyers, our people out there, they're calling us. Their listing agents are calling us, and we're able to communicate that these are strong buyers and they can close in 30 days.
Listen, it sounds silly, right? You think it would sound silly, but answering your phone matters, right? So sometimes if you just pick up your phone at 9:00 at night and say, yes, these buyers have been vetted, that is all the difference. And sometimes they might not even take her offer the first time around, but guess what? I had one that, a different transaction, the original offer fell apart. And guess what? We were not the highest. We were not the best. But because I had great communication and the other lender or the other agent had great communication with the listing agent, we were first in line. We closed in 2.5, 3 weeks, I think it was. And now we have first-time home buyers in the house right now. I mean, so communication is key. And we were talking about inspections. Sometimes there's cheap ways to kind of get yourselves to stand out. We are not advocates of that. So if waiving a private home inspection is what someone is promoting for you to get, as a way to stand out, you need to turn go the other way. Because right now it's about a pass go. It's not even about you're going to nickel and dime a seller, but you do as a buyer have every right to have access to that house for even 3 days. I mean, you can accelerate your time, but you need to do your due diligence because especially on days like this, where like Harry was talking about, we need to build an arc, right? these are the times more so than not that you need to go into those basements. We live in Michigan. Water is going to find its way. It's a creeper. So you need to make sure you're taking care of yourself and you have someone that's representing you to do that.
Boy, oh boy, this water really answers a lot of questions this weekend as you drive around the subdivisions and across the streets of Southeast Michigan or anywhere in the United States. When there's water, you can see where it's going to pile up, what problems this could bring on. Hey, you've got it here on the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Show. We're going to take your calls all morning long till 10 o'clock, of course, buying or selling real estate. Nick Kalte joins us from Brookstone Realtors, and of course, our strong panel from Capital Mortgage Funding with Harry Glanz, Becky Ellie, and myself, Harvey Freed. So we'll take your calls here, 248-539-9797. Nick, the cool thing about first-time home buyers is unlike some of our other buyers, they don't have a house to sell. So if they get a real good plan together, if they work with a strong team and maybe a little bit of help from mom and dad to give them that extra $10,000 or $20,000 to get that appraisal guarantee and maybe to get that first-time home accepted, that's really what it's going to take in today's market.
Yeah, absolutely. That's why I wanted to reiterate what Becky was saying too with appraisal guarantees. And it's going to take a little bit of money right now, and that's okay. Again, those higher prices shouldn't scare you because with rates being so low, you're actually getting a house for a cheaper payment. I actually pulled up one that I had sold beginning of 2019, and that home is actually $20,000. It's up in value right now, but the payment's actually cheaper by $125. And that's really key right now too. But it is going to take a little bit of money because again, if you're not writing an appraisal guarantee, somebody else is. So again, don't waive all of your due diligence, but appraisal guarantees are huge right now because these homes are up in value. But don't be scared of that. Don't be scared to ask around, ask mom and dad, ask anybody that can help you, because getting into a home right now and locking in a 30-year is going to be your best opportunity.
Yeah, Becky, Nick sort of hit me with that. We were talking, and he says, he's even telling his mom and dad, look, you can sell your house for $300. You owe $100. Take the $200,000. Use a portion of it if you're going to downsize anyways, and maybe put away $100,000 or dollars or so. Becky, these rates are unbelievably low, and maybe those opportunities do exist.
No, I have one. You guys are literally, I have a situation just like that. I did not hit the birth lottery as far as like oodles of money but moms and dads can step in and help. And I actually have a young couple, their first time home buyer. Mom is selling her house and she's willing to gift a portion of her proceeds towards her daughter to buy a new home. I mean, so there's different ways that you can get creative to get someone into a home. It doesn't make sense to continue to rent, just like there's a housing, the inventory short. Well, investors are capping on that, or cashing in on that, and rent is rising. I mean, everything is going up. So why not start investing in yourself? So sometimes we need a cosigner. Sometimes we're going to need a gift, and you don't know unless you ask. If you don't ask, the answer is always going to be no. And we're going to give you the plans and our ideas to give you resolution. It's just a matter of, can we execute those things? And if we can't, then we're going to find another way. And then we're going to continue to do that to get you into these houses, because you need to be a little bit creative in this kind of market.
248-539-9797. These bidding wars on homes, it's intensified. The shortage is huge. We don't see any relief out there. They did say that, okay, so it's not 100 miles an hour anymore. They're off the gas a little bit, down to about 80 miles an hour, which will still get you a speeding ticket in most towns. So be careful out there. Again, be prepared, and we'll give you some helpful tips along the way today with Nick Kalte from Brookstone Realty. And again, 248-539-9797. Let's talk about a little bit before we go to the break, the inspection part of the transaction. There's no doubt, folks, this rain will reveal a lot of things about leaky roofs, basements, bad. It could be, Nick, it could be as easy as just a bad grade. And sometimes just getting another yard or two of soil out there and getting the downspout extensions out there can solve a lot of water problems. I'm telling you, we were at Home Depot last night. We got the downspout extension. So we'll talk about water and a whole lot more here as continued rain throughout Southeast Michigan. It's 9:10. You got it on the Hardcore Mortgage Show, 248-539-9797. We'll be right back.
Hi, Harry Glanz and Dan Burke from Capital Mortgage Funding. Over 30 years in the mortgage banking industry, hundreds of thousands of families served. Let us serve you. Capital Mortgage Funding, 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker.
show 916. It is not a beautiful day outside, but you know what? Every day's great. Call your real estate agent. Maybe go look at some houses today. Why not? Not much else to do. Of course, we got some Tiger baseball coming up. We all got our fingers crossed here. 1 o'clock. Keep it here on 97.1. It's a doubleheader and then the nightcap a little bit later. We are powered by Fairway Independent Mortgage Corporation, NMLS 2289, equal housing lender. Of course, you can call Capital Mortgage Funding all week long, all day long at 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker. We broadcast live. Harry Glanz, Becky Alley, myself, Harvey Freed. We've got Nick Kalte on from Brookstone Realtor. So give us a call, 248-539-9797. It's always fun to talk mortgages and real estate. We'll get into a little creative financing. Becky and I, we wanted to talk about some USDA loans since Fairway is the number one. Oh, we lost you back. Calling back in. Becky's going to call back in, get her back up. All right. We get her getting back up on there. Well, we'll talk about USDA after, Becky. No problem with that. Let's just dive in. Nick, since we got you cooking here, we'll talk about this because Becky sort of dropped it in the break. She said, don't hate on FHA loans, Nick. Whether your buyers are FHA 3% down conventional, they're approved or they're not, and they can always close in a typical manner if they're really approved. You told me of a situation. You had a loan that went on for 9 months. That's not someone who's really getting pre-approved.
Right. Yeah, that was the issue too. Is we didn't use anyone. We were using a private lender, and then bottom line, they just didn't know what they're doing. They weren't Harvey Freed.
Thank you. I'll take that. But there's a lot of good agents out there. They definitely have to get. Well, that means something because, as we know, our names are on these pre-approval letters, and that's the idea. Is that we've already vetted the client. So we've run it through the AUS. We've run the approval. It's so urgent. When I talk to clients all the time, they say, oh, Harvey, I don't care about that. I already got a pre-approval letter. The next question I ask often, Nick, is, well, did you submit any of your documentation? And 9 out of 10, Harry Glanz, you're shaking your head. Yes, they don't, Harry. People truly need to do what we're saying. This pre-approval thing's real. It's just not a piece of paper. It means you've submitted your documents, Harry, and our underwriters sometimes even have to take a look at it.
We are going to ask you for a plethora of information. If somebody that you're working with doesn't ask you for a plethora of information, they're not doing their job. Okay, we have to go ahead and do the research. Our money's on the line. If you look at it like this, would you lend somebody 90% in a transaction if they're only putting 10% down and you don't do any homework on those people? And oh, by the way, they get to live in the house for 30 years. So of course, every mortgage lender, public service announcement for every lender in the world right now, if they don't ask you for a lot of information, they're not doing their job properly, Harvey Freed.
You got to get those documents to your loan officers right away. Again, at the beginning of the transaction, it's so that we can really maximize what you're approved for. And that's where I'm going with this, Nick, is, that's just it. If you're approved up to 300, Nick, you can't come in at 300,000 in this bidding war day. You might be more of a 260, 270 buyer and then work your way towards 300,000 if that's the money you're working with.
Right. Absolutely. I was just going to reiterate that is because of these bidding wars that are going on, and I'm seeing it a lot with my listings. It's you really can't be in that range. You'd have to drop a little bit. And I'm seeing a lot of buyers and luckily a lot of first time home buyers, trust what I'm telling them, because that's the reality of it is you need to be a little bit lower so that you can come in over, again, with those appraisal guarantees we spoke about, see if mom or dad can help you, because really the seller has to be reassured by your offer. And if you see something for 275, you give them 300,000, you give them a solid, $10,000 appraisal guarantee, you're probably up there and you're in the running. But coming in and asking it's like, the time for coming in and asking, it just seems like it's not here right now.
We'll get into a little bit of vacation home. Yeah, go ahead, Harry.
Yeah, what's crazy, and I wish Becky were on, and we'll probably reiterate this story after she gets back on. But how about this week? We had a client in our office that asked us to get an appraisal came in at X. They wanted to know why it came in so high, and they wanted to try to renegotiate, and we're hoping that the appraisal would come in lower. No, not going to happen. Okay, there is no renegotiating right now unless there's absolutely something wrong with the property that nobody knew about. And Nick, I know you want to get into this. Let's talk about that inspection situation where it's a pass-fail inspection. Go ahead with that.
Yeah, absolutely. Another trick you can use here in order to get some of your offers accepted is, if you call up the agent and say, hey, I'm interested in 123 Main, and they say, okay, well, we've got 3 offers as of now. you could hang up the phone and a half hour later they have 5 offers. That's just how it is right now. So with these pass fail inspections, it's kind of a way where you're going to go in, you're going to tell them, hey, we're not going to have our inspection, and we're not going to gouge you, we're not going to negotiate on all these things. We just want to go in there and make sure there's no big ticket item stuff. There's no mold in the attic. Your foundation's not crumbling. It's just a way that you still get that due diligence, but you're making your offer a little bit stronger, because again, on all these things we're talking about today, if you're not the one doing it, somebody else will, and we're here to make sure that yours is the strongest offer, and yours is the offer that's going to get accepted.
There's so many other reasons. That's such a great point, Nick. There's so many other reasons why it's important. So you're a buyer, you're buying this house. Now I need to know that I might need to replace a sewer line. Now I need to know that I'm not going to put down 20% like I wanted to. I'm going to get the great program that Capital Mortgage Funding offers me. 10% down conventional loan, no PMI. I only take an eighth higher in interest rate, and I've got that $15,000, $20,000 extra that I can use to fix up the house. And the reason why, because it needs fixing up, because some of the homes are older. And of course, what's wonderful, Nick, and Harry shakes his head, we watch HGTV, all these great shows on TV now, and you can take a dud. You can take an average house that, boy, oh boy, our parents bought back in the 50s or 60s. Your parents, Nick, bought them in the 80s. I don't know, but my parents might have bought them in the 40s or 50s. Those little 1,200 square foot brick ranches, you can knock out a wall or two and give it that open concept. And there's a lot of creativity there and fun with home ownership.
Absolutely. And you know how those brick ranches are right now. They are hot. Everybody wants a brick ranch. And that's why prices you're seeing, they're up right now, especially for brick ranches. If you have that, if you're looking to sell your brick ranch and get into a home, you're almost sitting on gold right now, because it's a perfect home for even downsizing for some parents. It's a perfect home for first time home buyers. It's great all the way around.
They got Becky Alley back on there. Hey, Beck, I know you got phone. We got the rain coming down. We got your wedding coming up. There's always stuff going on, Becky. Are you back? Can you hear us?
I'm back. I don't know what happened. My phone went on a hiatus and it wouldn't come back to me. I even went outside and was like, where are you at, signal, and whatever. So I'm good now.
Got that big satellite or something on the top.
Oh my God. It was like tinfoil hat. I was doing whatever I could out there, but it was finally, I was like, whatever, moving on.
Go dry it off. Anyways, of course, Becky Haley joins us back again. We were talking going into USDA loans, which is a lot of fun too, and some government programs. There's so many opportunities out there, whether you want to buy a house FHA at 3.5% down. Maybe you're a conventional buyer at 3% down. That's fantastic. That sounds better to a lot of the sellers out there and the listing agents that might not be astute with some of the government programs. But USDA, United States Development, at the agricultural loans, the rural development loans, as you know them, you can move just outside of suburban area. And these are zero down, Becky. Boy, that keeps a lot of money in your pocket to maybe fix up that older home or add an addition in the future and get your family up there where you can breathe a little bit. Maybe you don't want your neighbors right on top of you.
I mean, for sure. I mean, it also is going to help with these appraisal guarantees, right? When we have to go above and beyond with your asking, getting to a program that offers you 0% as a down payment is going to help, maybe probably throw in that extra 10,000 so that way you stand out a little bit more. So, definitely with the USDA, 0% as a down payment does not mean zero out of pocket, right? You got to make sure that you have your closing costs, your prepaids, things like that. But 1%, small funding fee, and we're good to go. And, we're here to help you. But the property's got to fit. Everything's got to fit. So you got to fit, the property's got to fit, and, give us a call. We'll make sure we check all those boxes.
Always want a proper fit. 248-539-9797. We'll continue the conversation with buyers and sellers. If you'd like to give us a phone call, we always want to hear from you of what you got going on in the industry right now. Again, a lot of families out there trying to get that first offer accepted. We'll get you all set up with that mortgage if you call Capital Mortgage Funding. We talk about this. The down payment can change. The money you're working with might need to be sort of changed up a little bit to get that offer accepted. So maybe a little bit less money down. We'll give you that extra money to make up that appraisal guarantee. All right, we're up against a quick break here. Keep it on 97.1 The Ticket. You got it on the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Show, 248-539-9797. We'll be back.
Hi, Harry Glantz and Dan Burke from Capital Mortgage Funding. Over 30 years in the mortgage banking industry, hundreds of thousands of families served. Let us serve you. Capital Mortgage Funding, 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker.
Welcome back to the show at 9:30. It's a Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Show, again brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding. Only in our 22nd year here. Of course, Capital Mortgage Funding over 30 years. Right here locally, you can come in and see us if you want. We do Zoomcasts, we do FaceTime interviews, we do one-on-one. We will meet you anywhere and talk about mortgages and setting you up for that plan for success. Nick Kalte, Brookstone Realtors, of course, joins us today. And we got Becky Yaley here. He Glan's on the line with us. 248-539-9797 for another 30 minutes. Then Pat Caputo with sports, social commentary, Tiger Baseball 1250 with Dan and Jim. So keep it here on 97.1 The Ticket. Hey, we definitely want to get our offers accepted on a house out there. And we're going to get into a little bit about these families out there. Of course, you can sell a house, Nick. You don't even have to stage it, but maybe you do need to stage it to get a little bit more money. But Nick, where are these families going to go? And how do you get this offer accepted? We talked about it earlier in the show, as we do often, pre-approval letters. That pre-approval letter has a name and a phone number where the listing agent now can call the lender and really start getting that warm, fuzzy feeling and making sure that they're all set, ready to go. But there's lots of other ways to get your offer accepted. Give us a few other things.
Right. Yeah. Number one is, I'm an agent, that obviously is good at what they do. Will definitely reach out to the lender and get a little bit of an idea of what's going on with the buyer. That's number one. But for the offers that we write, we touched on the appraisal guarantees. We're seeing them almost, I don't think I've written an offer without one since last year. The pass fail inspections are good because they give you all the knowledge you need from the inspection, but it's not a negotiating tool. So it looks better for the seller. But another big thing too is free occupancy. Now, when you're at the table and you're signing, that seller, even if they end up living in that home after you close, it's officially your home and they become renters. So and another thing you can do here is give them that free occupancy, because normally, another agent might charge them PITI, principal, interest, taxes, and insurance. And what that's going to come out to is collectively your mortgage payment. And you usually do about 1/30th. So you're basically charging them every day. So if they see your offer and one offer is charging them $40, $50 a day, well, your offer is now $1,200 to $1,500 less than the other guy. So an easy thing to do here is let's just let them live there for free. A lot of things I'm noticing now is that sellers aren't staying in their homes the full occupancy. So if you end up giving them that 30 days, half the time they're out in 15 anyway. But the nice thing for that is it lets them comfortably move out of the home that they've been in for years and years and years. And again, your offer is going to look better than somebody else's because you're knocking down that price that they would normally be charged. A good thing about that too is that when you're at the table and you're signing, part of your closing costs is that next month's payment. So it'll almost be out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah, right. You close on a house here coming up in July. You won't even have a house payment due till September.
Till August 1st. Yeah. Let them live there 30 days.
Yeah, let them live there for 30 days. Like you said, they might have already lived there for 10 or 15 years.
Right.
Maybe that's what gets you over the hump and get your offer accepted. And you talk about that occupancy. Harry, we see it on more expensive homes. You get up to $400,000 to the $1 million price range homes. Yeah, there's a lot of junk in the house, a lot of stuff in the house, and some Rembrandt paintings and things of that nature. That can be $200 a day, and that can get you over the hump and give someone the comfortability that, hey, I can stay here for a little bit and then vacate to the new home.
Yeah, that often is the deciding factor. I mean, where are these people going to go? If they just sold their house, chances are that they've got to move into a new house, or maybe they're still waiting to hear. Maybe they're going to go rent. That's happening right now. They're going to make 2 moves. Yep. So they're going to want to stay in that house as long as they can. And okay, so what? They're going to live there for free. Okay. If that's what gets them, if that's what breaks the tie, and often it is, you could have a nickel tell you could have a higher offer, but they want to go ahead and charge you a per diem, a daily rate after you close. Well, they might take a lower offer with 60 days free occupancy. So I agree with that. I think that is another way of breaking a tie. That's a 50-50 ball that you got to come up with, right, Harvey?
Oh, yeah, you definitely get it if you're going to win the game. 248-539-9797. Go back out to Becky on this question. Becky, funds to close. Boy, that's really what we do for a living. Beck, we get documentation, we verify employment and income coming in and these funds to close. And sometimes we hear the wrong things. I met a lady the other day on the phone and everything sounded great in the conversation until she might have mentioned she hid $20,000 from her soon-to-be ex-husband, and that cash money was what she was talking about using to buy the house. That was a little bit of a no-no. So I had to get away from that one. Beck, we run into these funds to close issues all the time.
Yeah, so cash is not king. You're not gonna, no one is showing up to closings like you see in the movies with a briefcase full of $100,000 bills. You're not gonna see that, right? Everything's gotta be verified. Everything has to be sourced. We have to see money coming and going. So if you're someone that moves money from your checking and savings account, you're probably gonna get irritated because guess what? Everything that you do, we have to document. And more times than not, people are like, oh my gosh, I already gave them my bank statements. I already gave them my, my license. What do you want, my firstborn child? Yes, we might need that if we need to get you into this house. You have to understand that we are a 95% investor in your home. So obviously you have to make sure that, we have to make sure the checks and balances are there. And one of the biggest things are, you cannot buy a house with sunshine and rainbows. You're going to have to show some kind of money in your account, and we're here to help you, right? You want to live your life and move the money around however you want to do, that's fine. But we're here to kind of simplify what could be a difficult process just to make sure that it's smooth from start to finish.
Harry, it's Saturday night, and there's not much to do today, but maybe hit the restaurants later. Harry, if you walked into a Saturday night restaurant here in Metro Detroit and it wasn't packed and you didn't have to wait, that's probably not the place to be, right?
You got to run away. You have to run away. Listen, it's busy, and what Harvey's referring to is that if you're not dealing with somebody, there's an old saying: if you want something done, you give it to a busy person, right? If you're trying to go into a restaurant on a Saturday night and they're not busy, I don't know, what does that tell you?
Don't go there.
Right? You've got to give your work to somebody that is busy, because they're getting things done. And that's what it's all about. We've got to put you over the finish line, because right now is the most competitive market we have seen. I'm going to have to say almost ever, but almost ever for me has only been 32 years. So it's just very, very competitive out there right now.
Yeah, we talked about a little bit of the funds. We'll get back out to Nick on some real estate questions here. A little bit about the funds to close. Again, call your mortgage professional. Call us at Capital Mortgage Funding, 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage bank here. If you're depositing, I don't care what you spend, but if you're depositing a few $100s, you won't be scrutinized on that. But you're dropping $1,000, $1,500. All of a sudden, your kids can't be paying the $2,000 back that they borrowed from you in the middle of you buying a house right now at this particular moment. So make sure you really call the lender a little bit sooner. And again, we're right here local. If you're listening to the show, Capital Mortgage Funding, 1-800-LOW-RATE. You'll get hooked up the right way. It's as easy as that. Nick, we'll go back out to you and talk about the education out there. It's, you guys really do have your hands full. I don't know, in the olden days, the agents looked older. Right? They're not young and aggressive and fun and exciting. And it's a knock on some of the older agents out there. It's okay. Their experience will shine, I'm sure. Well, but the fact is, like, it seems like way more interesting now than even when I got in the business, 20, 30 years ago, because we're doing all these thorough inspections. We're talking about some nuances in the mortgage world and things that people need to know about, like, hey, guess what? Your property taxes are going to go up because of Proposition A, Proposal A. That's right. Back in 1995. Who even knows that stuff? Nick.
Right, exactly. And the funny thing too, I don't want to knock on any of the older guys too, because they're all
go ahead,
guys and girls. But yeah, it's these young hustlers that are coming in, and they're so easy to work with. And I know Becky touched on this earlier on in the show, but the number one thing you can do is just be responsive and just answer your phone. We're all trying to do our due diligence for our buyers and sellers. So why in the world wouldn't you just pick up the phone? We all have questions for each other. We're all trying to get to the closing table. That's the number one compliment sitting at the table is wow, Nick was so responsive, answered the phone. I say, I'll pay you later for that. Thanks. But you're building your own brand. So your reputation sticks in this industry 100%. And people know the agents that are tough to work with. And I do like seeing that there's a lot of young agents coming in here, and they are very hungry.
Yeah, I don't know if they saw it on TV or what, but become a great industry for a lot of families out there. I'm really taking real estate over the last, I'll say Harry's like, Harry mentions the last 10 years have been gravy. Oh yeah, they have. These are some of the best times in real estate ever. So some people don't know from the worst times. Maybe we won't go backwards in time and have worse times again. But again, very competitive out there. Home prices are soaring all over the place. Of course, the median new construction, as new construction prices have continuously gone up across the United States, they have gone up 18% year over year from last year. The Midwest is definitely feeling it. You got the lumber, you got the labor, you got the plastics and the materials in the house. Things are hard to come by, and builders have increased their prices. On the other hand, hey, new construction, still a great way to buy a house. Definitely call Capital Mortgage Funding. We'll get you that end loan. Most of these builders out there, again, you want to sort of separate it. Let them build a house. they really need to focus on that and allow a professional lender like a Capital Mortgage Funding or the lender of your choice to go ahead and handle your financing for you when you're building a new house. I always say stay in your own lane. I think that's the best medicine you can take, especially new construction. Truly work with lenders that give you all sorts of options like Capital Mortgage. All righty, we're up against a quickie here, 248-539-9797. And it's not raining outside right now. So keep your eyes open and we'll keep coming right back.
Hi, Harry Glanz and Danberg from Capital Mortgage Funding. Over 30 years in the mortgage banking industry, hundreds of thousands of families served. Let us serve you. Capital Mortgage Funding, 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker.
Okay, welcome back to the show, 945. It's the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Show brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding in our 22nd year. We appreciate all you calling in at 248-539-9797. Want to talk about buying or selling a house? If you have a family member that needs to buy or sell a house, definitely give us a phone call. I love doing those. I got one that's going to be closing next week. A lot of fun. I think I did the family's mortgage maybe 20 years ago, and now the kids are buying. And, you know, it's really fun to see people moving forward. Again, 248-539-9797. Harry Glanz, Becky Alley, top 1% of all originators of mortgages, myself, Nicholas Kalte. Great to have you on, Nick. And as always, you're loud, clear, concise, professional.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully you and I will get that one to the closing table soon enough here. And again, we've got something where even last week I was getting a phone call. Hey, guys, how did the buyers look? We said we were ready to go. We can close in 30 days. Turns out we were the second best offer, Nick. They didn't get back with you right away, but who knows? Maybe if something happens, if that house doesn't work out for the other family, or maybe they've got an issue that doesn't work out. Sometimes you're the next in line, and you can still get the house.
Yeah, absolutely. We're seeing a lot of that too. Backup offers. I'm sure you hear that all the time. And that's, and it, you know, take a chance on it, because I know a lot of people, once you stick that house pending or accepting backup offers, it scares some people off, but just take a chance on it, because there's so many buyers out there that you never know what could happen. Anything could go, you know, fall through with the current deal, and all of a sudden you're getting a call on that home that you got the furniture for, and you were heartbroken, but all of a sudden now you had that shot at it.
Yeah, I feel like before there was like always like the phantom cash offer, right? Everyone was like, oh, the cash offer, the backup cash offer, but now it actually is real, right? So when you hear someone say there's a backup cash offer, it's real.
Becky, going in and out on us. What a bummer. That was great stuff. I can only hear you through the phone though. Hey, Harry, we'll just go back out to Harry then on it. Harry, the competitiveness of the marketplace again. If you happen to be a backup offer, we were talking about it, maybe something fell through on the other side. It's always important to find out the seller's motivation. Somehow your buyer's agent needs to get that out of the listing agent. Find out, maybe talk to the neighbors. What's going on over there? Why are they moving?
Yeah, we can't underscore that enough, Harvey. I mean, information is the key. The more you know about a property, the more you know about a situation. Maybe you're working with an agent who is very intimate with that neighborhood, right? So they know what's going on. You'll be very surprised to find out that there is a lot of information that's, you know, a little back channel information that could help you get an offer accepted. You hit a hot button. Harvey, we haven't talked about it in a long time. You know, with multiple offers, and I know a lot of people don't read letters from prospective buyers to sellers, but maybe you're going to hit somebody's nerve, and maybe they want to read a letter. Maybe they lived in that house for a very long time, and they want to sell it to somebody that is going to treat the house like they treated. They had a family growing up there. Maybe the new potential buyer has a young family. You never know. You never know what's going to break a tie, right, Nick? You just never know. So you
absolutely. I was going to reiterate that too.
All your ammunition, right? Got to go in with all your ammunition.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Nick.
Absolutely. Yeah. Those home letters are really, really hitting with people right now too. I had one recently that the seller didn't care about the money at all. He wanted the house that he took care of for years to go to a good family. And that's ultimately what won us the deal.
Sometimes you hear those don't work, but you say what you want. They definitely still work. I got to throw out refinancing out there. Boy, these mortgage rates are at all-time lows. Still many Americans, the numbers are telling us that there's several millions of you that still need to take advantage of a refinance. Now, a refinance sometimes is not only about lowering the interest rate, maybe lowering the term of the transaction will save you thousands and thousands of dollars. But where we see the best savings is debt consolidation. This equity, look, it's more than we ever thought we were going to see. Home values have gone up through the roof. Folks, I know you don't want to tie that debt into what your home you owe on your house, but sometimes it's the best route to go. And again, take a look at it by calling us at Capital Mortgage Funding. We like showing you the amortization charts. So that's one of the things I've been doing. Consolidate your debt. You got a new loan amount, a new term. Now I can show you how many more dollars go towards principal and how all of that bad debt can go away. I mean, families are saving $1,500, $2,000 a month by calling us at Capital Mortgage Funding. So that's really key. Want to throw that out there. And then always, as we touch on every show, look out for your family members. The scammers are out there. So let's throw it out there again. You're starting to get letters. I'm getting them too. Strangest letters I've ever seen over my 30-year period in the industry is basically a borderline illegal activity. They're pulling documents. So you got strangers in Idaho and other parts of the country pulling records, public records down here, your recorded deed, your mortgage is a recorded deed. They're putting our name or your name on there. And what they're really doing is pulling the wool over your eyes. You have to understand mortgages, what interest rates are, how discount points and closing costs work, and you need a local lender to break it all down. Becky, help us out. Tell me I'm right.
You're absolutely right. I mean, obviously, I think I spoke about it. I was a victim. Someone got into my bank account, right? I woke up. All of a sudden, I'm seeing all these PayPal requests. So I immediately went to my PayPal. Nothing was on there. Turns out somehow I wrote a check to somebody and they got my information and created whatever they created, whatever they did. I don't know. These people should be able to put their lives into something conducive and solve world hunger, but you need to protect yourself, put your safeguards in play. If you get something in the mail that doesn't look right, call the people that you prefer. Why would you work with a stranger? Why would you just someone randomly send you a letter that you don't know who they are and you're all of a sudden going to divulge all your information? You need to go with warm contacts, people like businesses that you've heard of, that you know where they're from, because people are out there are mean, they're nasty, and there's a lot of noise out there, and you need to make sure that you're protecting yourself and your family, because you're talking about the biggest investment of your life more times than not is your home.
Yeah, it's not always easy to find a Nick Kalte out there, a guy that's honest, hardworking out there. So, Nick, we do appreciate you having on. And, Nick, I throw this out there due to your, again, a younger generation out there. They got to build their credit up. And this is what we're talking about. If you've had a problem, you can't co-sign. You can't have your roommate steal your information and co-sign or jam up a $4,000 credit card when you're in college. And now you're out there and you're getting married and you're trying to buy a house and it's a surprise party for your fiance when they find out that your credit's no good and you can't be on the loan. So it's really important. Really take a look at that credit piece. Nick, young people need to learn really of how it all works.
Yeah, exactly. They do. And again, that goes back to a lender that's doing their due diligence and taking a look at everything about you and digging into those. So again, like we were speaking about earlier, if there's not somebody that's asking you for information and getting to know you, you need to steer clear.
All right. And of course, you young people out there, protect your credit. Have your parents teach you a little bit about it. It takes good credit to build a credit history. So if you could maybe have a parent co-sign when you're getting that car loan, when you're a little bit on the younger side, instead of having just your parent go on that car loan, you can put your name on there. And that's an installment loan like that to really build your credit scores up. And I'll tell you, just want to urge that to any of the younger listeners. Definitely listening out there. All right. 248-539-9797. Just a few minutes left on the show. Nick, I'll let you wrap up some of your final thoughts here.
Yeah, thanks, Harvey. I just think overall the market's it's a great opportunity for buyers and sellers. Again, you're getting an interest rate that's so incredibly low that you're going to lock in a 30-year fixed, and you're going to be happy with the payment. I can't say this enough. Just do not be scared of those prices you're seeing, because again, it's cheaper compared to houses even a couple of years ago. The one I spoke about earlier, it's $125 cheaper because the rate's, not 4.25% to 5%. We're looking at under 3% right now with good credit. It's incredible.
Yeah. Hey, since we got to wrap, Becky, give us your final thoughts on today.
I want to kind of bring it back on the credit and, how kids right now, I mean, not kids, but even people that are buying houses right now, no one really taught them the importance of credit. I've been blessed to the point that my parents definitely instilled pay your bills, credit, all those things are a good thing. But I feel like there is a lack of education with what is going to constitute and how you get your scores up and things like that. So the sooner you have the conversations, the better. Get with someone that can kind of advise you. If you're looking to buy a mortgage or get a mortgage within the next year to 6 months, you cannot start the conversation soon enough. We are here. We are credit experts. We are here to advocate for you. We're going to tell you what to focus on. We're going to educate you. If you can get educated by someone else that's in your family, do it. I mean, the sooner you can get and start getting good credit, the sooner the better, because you're going to be wanting to buy a house sometime and you want it to be a smooth transaction.
All right, Beck, we'll let that wrap up there. Thanks a lot. And of course, I wanted to throw out there real quick, and we'll go down to Harry to wrap it. Get yourself a submersible pump to pump out some water. I'll tell you, the neighbors last night, the sub pump wasn't working. Folks, if you're listening, go in your basements, double check those sub pumps. If you can go for $89.99 at the store, at the hardware stores, you can get yourself a pump and a hose and pump the water out of the sub pump if it's not working. Some of them, again, with this excessive water out there. Again, do the right things and check. And of course, clean all your drains out in the street. Harry Glanz, your final thoughts.
Yeah, Harvey, two of my biggest pet peeves, never, ever waive a home inspection and never give your personal financial information, social security numbers, dates of birth, anything to strangers. What did your mother tell you about strangers? They're dangerous. Don't talk to strangers.
And of course, Nick Kalte, thank you for coming on from Brookstone Realtors. Yeah, we got so much to add, but I see Pat Caputo outside. He's got sports, social commentary. And again, why do we got to talk about gutters and roofs? Because it's very important stuff. Keep that financial investment moving in the right direction. All right, thanks for joining us here on the Hardcore Mortgage Show. Be sure to call Capital Mortgage Funding, 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker. We'll see you next Saturday.